all the tribe. So it has been a long time since I've done a vlog. It's been a long, long time. You know, I've done a lot of videos in the last few months, and I've posted like none of them. Nothing has felt right. And I might go through and review and see there might be some good nuggets of stuff, but it's time. It's time. I kind of like went off grid with people in life. I needed to. I went through a hardcore crash. Burned myself out at a job, overdid. Was working for an organization or a business that I just, too many clients. I went through a level of burnout, and right around the same time of that coming to a closure, I went through a whole lot of spiritual attacks, and really, really intense spiritual attacks. I shared medicine with a quote-unquote shaman, a person who said that they were a shamanic healer. You know, maybe for some people they are. I don't wish to negate that they have a level of skill. However, when you sit with the medicine person and something is triggered and awakened in them, which happens all the time. I sit with people and doing breath work, healing, energetic exchange. They wake up stuff that's within me. You know, I recently had a really powerful one where the person just used me as their direct mirror, and they called out like tons of stuff on me. However, simultaneously, it was this, can I stand in my own integrity and reflect back to them that it was really theirs? So there was some that was mine in that exchange, and then a lot of which was their own. It was really, really powerful. And we came to this beautiful expression of love and peace and acceptance as we moved through. It was beautiful. And that's what a true healing ceremony is meant to be. A shaman is someone who does the work in all moments, really. You're constantly looking to clear the energy to bring love and peace to all situations. So I sat with a medicine person, and I did a medicine called Bofu, if you haven't heard of Bofu. It's a frog medicine. And I ended up doing 2 rounds of it that day. And during the first round, it brought me to a very beautiful place. And during the process of the ceremony, I had awokened an energy inside of the shaman where they hit fear. I was talking to them, and I got, being who I am, I kind of trigger people. I can get really deep into your stuff. It's how I work my healing medicine. And so I went in and I said a few things that, you know, I was just being me, loving, caring as best as my ability. And again, I was on the medicine. And so I was in a very loving space at the time, especially then. And I triggered them. I made them, they went fight or flight on me. And so I calmed down, I drew back, and I asked them, I said, what can we do? I said, let's heal this. Let's do the work together. Let's me and you do the work together. And they turned and they looked away from me and started playing a crystal bowl that was next to them, or pretended to play the crystal bowl, and told me that they were the guru. Literally used those words, that they were the guru, they were the shaman, they were the guru, and that I was just the student and I didn't know anything. And at that point in time, everything in the forest, because we were out in the woods, started, instead of being all lit up and beautiful and shiny, which it was prior to, soon after that, it's like they took all of the energy directly out of the forest, and everything started to look rotted and decayed. the light started leaving the forest as they demanded that they were this highly spiritual being. It was very, very interesting and powerful. I, of course, questioned who I was as a being and what I was sent for. I sat in this energy and I was like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't know anything. And I said, but I swear I've been doing this a while. So I'm having this inner dialogue and conversation with myself. And I, of course, don't ever want to fail in what I do. And I always want to meet my spiritual path at the highest regard. By no means do I always, but that's has been kind of my journey. And I will say in the most recent days has made me feel very lonely in that, this place of separation and feeling very separate from others, being on just such a high level of a spiritual path that I've dedicated myself to. And maybe not well even, not with full integrity. And so that's a lot of the stuff I've been dealing with in the last few months of who I am and how I show up and my true intentions, and having gotten lost down paths, working with that shaman. I was very called to work with them, and I'm grateful that I did. And the love that I shared in that moment with them, and they really opened me up to realizing, and it's something I've been dealing with a lot, is that when I love people, when I can't even say fall in love with people, but when I engage in a loving place with people and I realize, like, oh my God, I love them so much. And I'm just glowing in this place of love. I'm like, oh my God, I love them. I love them so much. And then they drink in all of this love that I'm sharing with them. And for the longest time, I thought it was the love that we were sharing, that they were sharing a love with me simultaneously. And that was the love that I was breathing in and drinking in and loving. And in the last few months, I've really realized, not all, by no means not all, definitely not all, because there are many beings out there that I love their love. There are so many people out there that I just absolutely love their love. And it's so powerful to me. Honored by their love, truly blessed and honored by their love. Yet there are definitely many people I've realized, and I've been going through this, is that it's not their love, it's mine. It is my love that they are just reflecting back to me. That it's not, they're not loving beings. They're not showing up from a place of love. They might appear to be on some level. They might have love. They might be fun and playful, and I enjoy that, but it's really not their love, it's mine. And that's been really eye-opening. And I'm not sure how to get through that one. I'm not... I'm really not sure how to get through that one. And I guess the other question is, does it matter? Does it matter? The only reason I would say it matters is how I show up from there forward. If I realize that it's not their love that I love, it's my love being reflected back to me, do I keep investing, right? Or do I just, I want to say no, I just hold a space of love and let them be the loving being that they are, or hope that they are, and just hold a space of where I am and not keep investing in order to waste my energy on a being who is showing up from a place of greed, not even need, but a place of greed, right? So that's something to sit with for myself that I'm really dealing with. And I bet others are dealing with that too. Excuse me. So, and part of me, it's bubbly water, so I might burp. So like I said, I've had a lot of spiritual attacks. which hasn't been uncommon for me in the last 6 years or so, or since I moved to Florida. I know I've had spiritual attacks prior to that, but nothing like I get since I've moved down here. It's been quite intense. You know, and I know this and I'm aware of it. And recently I was mentioning to a client of mine where I was going through a crash in my faith. Now that's weird for me. I have said for my whole life, right? I have more faith than the majority of humanity. Like, legit. I have, other people could cry out saying that they, don't have enough love in their life or money in their life or faith in their life, There's this one woman I worked for a short time, and she just swore she was the most faithful thing, She just went on and on and on about how much she was with God and faith and and everything she said. There was no integrity in it. But then she walked around this place of business, and it was her business, and she just kept trying to pray over everything to bring in more prosperity, and she kept crying poor mouth. She kept being like, just talking about how she didn't have enough financially, and in fact she was extremely well off, extremely well off. And it was just such an interesting dynamic to witness somebody who had such a strong financial background, so much strength in her financial roots, crying out poor mouth and being afraid, then speaking as if she had tons of faith, and she had really none. She was begging and pleading for it. And I remember having this awareness in that moment of, God, I have, I was the words of integrity of I could see me having questions of financial stability, and having a fear there. And I was but I have so much faith, and I know that all is well. What's going to happen? I have more faith that it's showing up, that everything is well. And so my faith has carried me through, and that knowing, there's just this inner faith of knowing. And I crashed hard. I crashed really, really hard. And coming into a place of faith in myself, faith in the sun, right? The purest of all faiths. Do I always have faith in myself? At the end of the day, I do. However, I go through my dips there too, Lack of passion and inspiration for life has definitely appeared in the last so many years. Not living out my true passions, not living out my true creativity, investing my energy in places that, not that they weren't worth investing in, but they depleted me. I gave more to outside of me and other beings that I thought were lacking, and really depleted my own being in order to do so. And so with saying that, I'm been going through this place of removing those tentacles of these outside sources that I've been feeding energetically, so I can just simply nourish myself. It's a lot. It's a lot. It feels weird, and I don't really enjoy that. But, as a friend recently said to me, they said, and they reminded me, it's true, you're getting something out of it, And I do. Helping other people makes me feel better about myself. It does, At the end of the day, it's just so rewarding to help other people on their paths, that it nourishes my spirit. That has been my passion. My passion is helping other people. But there has to be a better balance than what I've been playing out. in realizing that I've invested and invested in so many and thinking that I was getting love back and all they were doing was reflecting me. It's fucking crazy. So let me share, I had a quote unquote friend, right? And so I still love them. If they messaged me, I'd still be present in their lives. This is how much I love them. Love them. Very deep soul connection to this person. He's of, if you've ever heard of like twin flames, is he a twin flame? He is not the twin flame, but he is part of the lineage and tribe. So there's so much that goes into that. If you ever have questions about that stuff, feel free to message or ask me. That's really, really in-depth stuff that appears, interestingly and oddly enough, that, you know, yes, there is a twin flame. However, they have a lineage to them, and there are soul contracts with different timelines of existence and blah, blah, blah. So it's really intense. So he's one of them, and I really, really love him. And up until this one day, he had only shown me quote unquote love, or kindness, or, you know, friendship. And we went for a walk, and he presented lovingly to start with. And then all of a sudden he was doing like this magical work, right? He spoke to me. He was speaking. He wasn't speaking directly to me. He was speaking from an energetic level, which is what he typically does. He's really out in the ethers. He's not very grounded. And I worked really hard in the last couple of years of knowing him, or the last year or two of knowing him, of getting him more grounded, so he could be more in a place of power. Laugh at myself, my fault, right? So here I am gifting him the medicine he needs to be in a place of power and standing strong in his root. And he then takes that medicine and turns it around to harm me. And so we were walking, and he basically was saying things that really held no importance, we'll say, but he was using it to distract me from what he was really saying. And so, you know, I'll give you an example. If you've ever done certain medicines, you know, like